Hello? Is this working? I don't have any. Okay, I do have audio. Just making sure. Audio is the biggest hang up. Dev, you want to check your mic real quick?
Hola, ¿cómo está? Muy bien. ¿Y
There we
tú?
go. What is up, everybody?
Hey,
Happy
hey.
Wednesday. We got the first ever episode of Dev and Ryno Sports Chat, so appreciate you all being here today. I got the Mr. Wonderful himself, that dude Dev. Want to say hello, buddy?
Every once in a while, I'm pretty nice. Every once in a while, I'm pretty nice. How are you today, though?
I'm good, man. I'm nervous, man. A
Nervous?
little nervous.
This is regular. This is no
I know,
different than
but
us just shooting the shit any other day, sir.
yeah, but now people actually like have to listen and partake.
They will. They like us enough.
Chat, how you guys doing today? So, as you can see, we got some topics to talk about today. We're gonna this is gonna be a little bit of an evolving show, as Dev and I kind of get comfortable and we come up with ideas and implement things here and there. The show, you'll see, it evolves as the weeks go by. Today we're just gonna kind of keep it simple. We got 5 topics to talk about. And yeah, I guess we'll just dive right in.
Yeah, that's the move, right?
The first topic is Dan Snyder. He is in the news again. ESPN report came out saying that he apparently has dirt on all the NFL owners. The owners are kind of pushing back a little bit. I know there's a potential vote coming down the pipeline to possibly remove him as owner of the Washington Commanders. Dev, what are your thoughts on these new Dan Snyder accusations?
First and foremost, let's just go ahead and knock out the nonsense. And the NFL should have already done this, right? Like if they actually cared, they would have done it back when everything came to light. Not just once, but twice, because he also ended up on the chain of emails that ultimately ended oh man, what's his name? John Gruden's job in Las Vegas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Dan Snyder was included on those emails as well with the racial remarks and things like that. So now you've got sex, you've got race, and he's still an owner. Like I don't really know what else they need to do. And he's starting to feel the heat, right? So like the report came out on top of the fact that there may be a vote, but that then he turned around and hired an investigator team or whatever to dig up dirt on other owners. And there was a heated meeting between the owners recently where, people are dropping F-bombs at each other and, making somewhat of threats and whatnot. So it's just, this is hot, man. I don't understand why it took them so long or who needed to what. But he shouldn't be there, and it really shouldn't even be a conversation.
Yes,
If you ask me.
It's crazy. You have this talk going around right now that the NFL ownership is a mafia, essentially.
Yeah.
So going back to this article, ESPN spoke to over 30 individuals, owners, league and team executives, employees, but all of them spoke under anonymity. Wow, that's hard to say for me. So, I mean, it is kind of tough. These employees and owners especially don't want any retaliation from Dan Snyder. So if this is true, if he actually has dirt on these owners, I'm going to be all for it, just as like a news standpoint, just to see everything kind of blow up,
Exactly,
the drama.
right.
Can you imagine the drama that comes out of this if he actually has dirt on these people?
There's an ESPN 30 for 30 in the writing right now.
It's wild to think about.
Yeah.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me one bit, if we kind of know that the NFL ownership is like kind of like a good old boys club. We know these guys have definitely been through some things. We've seen the stuff with Robert Kraft with the massage parlors, Jerry Jones with accusations of sexual misconduct and stuff like that. Who knows? I mean, Jim Irsay with his DUIs and stuff like that. Those are pretty much the 3 owners that really come to light a lot as far as dirt per se.
Right.
We got new ownership in Rob Walton with the Broncos. Who knows how much he's involved in what kind of dirt Dan Snyder would potentially have with him. But
Right.
it's crazy, man. Like I just don't see it. Like, you have the NBA that pushed out Don Sterling and now Robert Sarver. Why is
Yeah,
the
and that's
NFL
the
kind of hanging up
thing.
on this?
Yeah, that's the thing. And I was thinking about this when we decided to make this a topic, and I was like, what else do you say besides the fact that like the NFL could have like set the precedent, set the tone with Dan Snyder before we got the whole situation with the Atlanta Hawks. I can't remember his name right now. You just said it and I can't remember it, but
Oh, you mean the Clippers?
no, no, no. They also you didn't they also made old boy sell isn't it Atlanta
No, it's the Phoenix
too?
Suns.
Oh, Phoenix. That's it. Yeah,
Yeah, my
Phoenix.
my
That's
team.
right. Yes, that's right. Phoenix. Yes. Um and cuz he was the owner of both, the WNBA team and the NBA team, right?
Yeah, he owns both the Phoenix Mercury and the Suns.
Right. Okay, got it. Yeah. So yeah, he's got to go. They didn't take any time getting that, taken care of. And then obviously, yeah, we know the Clippers a couple years ago, that didn't take much time. They just wanted to make sure that they got the investigation taken care of before, and the investigation is what took time. But yeah, as soon as that came out, he was out of there. Um, so like, I don't know why the NFL is dragging their feet. And I know a lot of people will be like, oh, Roger Goodell doesn't have a backbone, but people have to remember that Goodell works for the owners, not the other way around,
Yep.
right? Like he's paid by the owners, right?
Hmm.
So he can't really do anything. It's the other 31 owners that need to feel in a majority that Snyder is bad for the brand. And I think it took for them to see all of the new stuff going on. I think they're starting to look. I said it to Kels. There were more people that watched wrestling last night than there were watching Monday Night Football. And
Really?
to me, that's a problem, right? Like if you're looking at the NFL and its brand overall, and so now how do you make a splash? Well, you fire, you make a vote and remove somebody like that. They think that might be a big enough splash to get the attention back where it needs to be. So um, but yeah, it's yeah,
That's crazy.
it's
So
crazy.
I know the NFL, I think it's going to take 24 owners to vote Snyder out. And so I know Ursay came out recently talking about how he believes there is enough of the ownership group to vote to remove him.
Yeah,
I'm
I
just
believe
curious of what
his
happens if it fails. What kind of things are we going to see released? If like he knows who voted yes to remove him, is he going to retaliate? That's what I'm interested to see if it happens. And
yeah, Ursay kind of beat around the bush about it. I have his actual statement. I pulled it up. It says, it's a difficult situation. I believe that there's merit to remove him as an owner
mm-hmm.
of the Commanders. I think it's something that we have to review, but we have to look at all the evidence and we have to be thorough going forward. But I think it's something that has to be given serious consideration. Of course, they asked him directly, do you think that there's 24 owners that would vote, to remove him because that's what's necessary via the guidelines? And he says, I think potentially there will be, but we will see. He was asked specifically if there was going to be a vote this upcoming Tuesday, and he said it was hard to say. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I think of all the people to hear that from Jim Irsay, you would think that because of like you said, Irsay tends to be in the news for not the grandest of reasons, you know.
So
I've heard the one that I've heard the rumor is that the one that's really in the corner for not a vote is Jerry Jones, but apparently Jerry Jones is the one that got into a heated conversation in their last get together where he basically told the other owners like he really said like you can't fuck with me like
right, yeah,
like
that's
he
exactly what
really
he
thinks
said.
he's yeah I didn't know I wasn't gonna say how not to say it right like that's what he said like
Yep.
he essentially told them like yo you can't fuck with me like and it's Jerry's world right we hear that all the time so
It-
um I don't know man it's weird it's
so
gonna be interesting to follow like you said.
in regards to like the Robert Sarver stuff with the Phoenix Suns, he essentially wasn't forced to sell. The NBA agreed upon he was going to take a year suspension. I can't remember the dollar amount. It was a pretty hefty fine
Yeah.
to pay, But what essentially did him in is like the main sponsorships that sponsor the company were starting to push back, saying that if Robert Sarver wasn't removed, they would pull their brand, their sponsorship. And so there was a lot of talk about NBA players as well boycotting the team and not coming over in free agency and whatnot. So I am kind of curious with all this turmoil with Dan Snyder and that the whole Commanders franchise, why is there not any companies stepping forward that are sponsoring that team and putting their foot down saying, hey, we will pull our branding money that we give you each year, and the NFL players, stepping forward and be like, yeah, we're going to boycott you essentially.
I
I'm curious,
believe
why is that not the same in the NFL as it is that we're seeing with Robert Sarver and the Suns?
I actually believe to some degree there was, right? Didn't they have like the Commander Stadium used to be named like something
It
else?
was
And
FedEx
then I
Stadium.
think you
Was
said
it
what?
FedEx? Was it FedEx Stadium?
Yeah, I think they were, right? And I think FedEx was like, yo, after all this info came out, like we're pulling that money, like we're out of there. Um, I think they were, yeah, they used to be FedEx Field. And then yeah, FedEx was like, hey, like, check this out. This ain't happening no more. Um, but they're saying it was FedEx, it hasn't been FedEx Field since 2010, so that doesn't seem right.
Yeah, so that
I
that can't
thought,
be it.
no, it was something. I thought I heard something like that. Um,
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I haven't heard anything like that. I know that was a big deal with the Suns and Robert Sarver, and that was what ultimately got him to sell the team. And they're pushing through
no,
to find a
it is
buyer. But
still called FedEx Field. I thought I heard something about FedEx saying like, yo, we were gonna not allow our naming rights anymore.
maybe
I
it
don't
is.
know.
I just don't remember hearing about that. I could have missed it. Chat, I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys know what the deal is with that, but seems kind of curious, that I personally haven't seen or heard anything as far as teams stepping forward and putting their foot down and not being associated with the Washington Commanders until Dan Snyder's removed. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. And going back to Jerry Jones, like you were saying, Jerry Jones has always kind of been in Dan Snyder's corner. And I wonder, this is speculation. I'm not saying anything, but I wonder if they are truly like really good friends, or Dan Snyder really knows he really does have some dirt on Jerry Jones and not, Jerry Jones won't vote no, like he's not going to vote him out
Right.
because of that.
I found it. FedEx threatened to take their name over the Redskins name. Not the
Oh,
owner.
so
Not
not even
any of
because
the
of what
owner
Dan
stuff,
Snyder did.
but
Okay.
they needed to change the name, otherwise they were going to pull the rights. That's what it was.
Gotcha.
I knew I heard something about FedEx like writing a letter to them saying whatever, but yeah, it was about the Redskins name. They had to get rid of it. So
Interesting. Okay. So that makes a little bit more sense.
yeah.
But yeah, regardless, I'm interested to see how things go down. I'm not sure exactly when the vote's supposed to be. I thought it was supposed to be yesterday and it didn't happen.
Yeah, that's what so they said that, the rumor was it was going to be on Tuesday. Obviously that would have been yesterday. It doesn't sound like that happened. So we're here, unless they decide to pull like an emergency meeting, they're going to be here for, we'll have to wait until the next meetings, like the next meetings, which I think doesn't happen until at this point. I don't think it happens until after the season, right? They only meet a couple times a year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Big Can in the chat, he is saying that Anheuser-Busch, along with medical companies, Inova and
Yeah, Anova. Yeah.
Midliminal, both cut ties with
Okay.
the organization. So maybe they are starting to hit them in the wallet, and taking
Right.
away those sponsorship deals.
I
So
think I think as a whole, like the NFL needs to look at the way that they're being perceived, and I think that's what's actually getting some of these owners a little bit more riled up about it. Let's be honest, Deshaun
yeah,
Watson, no offense, right?
yeah,
Deshaun Watson is still in the NFL, right? Like Deshaun Watson's still in the NFL, got his little suspension, got a pretty decent fine, but his money's still going to be fully guaranteed based on the way that they did the fine. Like they don't care about that stuff. And I think what they care about at this point is the image of the NFL moving forward. They're like, look, we can do one, but we can't do the other. And Deshaun's going to make us more money than Dan is. So Dan's the easier one to get out and let him be the scapegoat.
okay,
That's how I feel this is going.
okay,
Um, I think inevitably Dan is going to get removed. Um,
I think so too. I think ultimately he's out.
I think that that happens before the end of the year. I think that we will see an emergency vote happen. I think he's kind of pissed off too many people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he might have. I honestly think the fact that the report came out that he hired investigative teams and that got out to the public, I think that actually screwed him more than if he hadn't have done that,
Yeah.
right? Because now that says that you're at this point, you're like threatening me, right? Like that, if I'm an owner, like that's a threat to me. So I don't really care what it is that you've got to say about me. Everyone already knows what you did. And if you really found dirt about me, the better option would have been to just release the dirt anonymously to now put pressure on multiple owners in the NFL. And then you just have to worry about figuring out the NFL brand. But the fact that that hasn't happened tells me that I don't know that he has jack shit that we don't already know about because of the age of social media.
That's fair. That's a really good point right there. I mean, if he did, yeah, I feel like some of that stuff would have been leaked by now. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. So I think that the owners are like, you don't really have anything. I think they're going to call his bluff. I think he's out before the end of the year.
Okay. Okay. All right, we're gonna move on to another topic. Mr. Robbie Anderson traded to the Cardinals on
My
Monday
soul hurts on that.
after a standoff on the sidelines. You saw on the broadcast that Robbie was pretty much helmet to face with the wide receivers coach, and they were definitely getting into a heated argument.
Yeah.
Eventually, I think it was in like the third quarter, after another argument with the wide receivers coach, Steve Wilkes just kicked him out of the game. And then the Cardinals came in, made an offer, got him, to kind of shore up their receiving core because of issues and whatnot. So,
Right.
uh, Dev, do you see Robbie Anderson rebounding in the desert and kind of restoring
No.
his image a little bit?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't know. How long is Marquise Brown out? Is he done for the year? I don't. I should have done that
No,
research.
he's
I didn't actually
apparently out
look.
for 6 weeks. They kind of
6 weeks.
he got lucky apparently. He's only out 6 weeks and not for the year, which still puts him at week
Okay.
12. So or 13.
Okay. So the real question is can he make a splash in 6 weeks? Because if he doesn't make a big enough splash in 6 weeks, they're not really going to be worried about it because they're not going to pay Robbie Anderson that money that he got from Carolina.
Yeah,
They're going to
so
use him for the rest of this year and call it a day. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. It'll just be an
Um,
experiment because the way the deals worked out, I guess, is that there would be no dead money, and the Cardinals could cut him and not take on the 12 million
exactly.
and cap. I think that he'll have next
Exactly.
season. So
Right. So I think that they were smart about that, obviously. Um, look, I don't know that Robbie Anderson is that guy. I mean, obviously he didn't get a say in where he got traded to, and I really only think Arizona made this move because of their their unfortunate injury, that Sunday afternoon.
mm-hmm.
Um, I like Robbie Anderson. I think he's a playmaker. I really don't understand why Chicago didn't call. I will say that again as a Bears fan and looking at what Justin Fields is working with. Like, I mean, Jesus, like Robbie Anderson is in a different echelon from everybody on the Bears roster, right? So,
Yep.
like, I don't understand how he went to Arizona for a bag of chips. And then, like you just said, the whole money issue as well. Like, I'm sure Chicago's sitting there like, what? They were going to do that? Like, that, like, you needed to call. Um, However, D Hop is back, right?
Yep.
He gonna get his touches. He gonna earn his money. He got 6 games to make up for whatever little incentives he's got on his contract. So he
Right.
gonna get his. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Do I think Robbie Anderson adds a nice little crease? Yes, but I think a lot of people aren't gonna take Robbie Anderson serious because he really didn't show up in Carolina hardly at all while he was there, right?
Yeah, he
Um,
didn't. He really didn't.
Right. I mean, DJ Moore was more the guy out there than Robbie Anderson was. So
I'll look up
I
his
don't know, man.
stats real quick.
I don't know. I don't think he makes that big of a splash. I think we don't notice him as much, right? Like a lot of people didn't really notice Rondell Moore. A lot of people didn't really notice, they and old boy was really only getting as much love as he was because D Hop wasn't there. So It's going to be interesting to see what these next 6 weeks look like, but I would assume Robbie Anderson is not a Carolina, an Arizona Cardinal past whatever that deadline is to make sure that they're not on the hook for any more money.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely see. I mean, like you said, D Hop is back. Marquise Brown going down with an injury hurts because he's definitely been their guy this season so far.
Right.
Rondell Moore definitely, there was a lot of hype surrounding him, and I feel like he just hasn't fulfilled that hype per se. Keim has really struggled being being able to draft wide receivers for that team. It's
I mean,
actually
I think
crazy how bad he is at drafting right now. You go back and look at his draft classes, it's not good. He took Andy Isabella 2 years ago, right before DK Metcalf.
oof,
And there was a few other ones I want to say. Deontay Johnson was after that.
yeah.
Who's the other one? There was another one because I just had a conversation with some guys at work about it. But regardless, I mean, Arizona's in a bad situation. They're 3-10 in their last 13 games going back to last season.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. He got to go. I like to call him oatmeal for brains. He got to go.
You're
He's
talking about
not
Cliff
the answer.
Kingsbury?
Yeah, he got to go.
Yeah, I've been saying it ever since they handed out those extensions to Cliff, to Kyler Murray, to Steve Keim. Those extensions set back that franchise big time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. The way the team faltered going down the stretch last season and the egg they laid in the playoffs. Like, how do you justify giving Cliff that kind of extension? Keim
Because they
maybe,
went on
but
to win the Super Bowl. If the Rams don't win the Super Bowl, the way that they win the Super Bowl and like pretty much go through the NFC, the way that they went through the NFC, I don't think Cliff gets that money. But
really,
because the Rams won the NFC so dominantly, I think that's why they were like, oh, okay, well, whatever. This time they were the better team. Right? Like I think that's what they thought upstairs. Um, Cliff is terrible, bro. We've been calling him oatmeal for brains for 2 years now. Like he's not it. Like this ain't college ball. You can't be cute. You can't whatever. Like it doesn't work. And he's got too many options and too many weapons. They went out and got JJ Watt. Like, you know what I'm saying? They went out and got D Hop. They did all these things or whatever. And for nothing, right? Like it's all for naught, so it doesn't really matter. I was surprised he got that extension, honestly, but then again, that's the only logical reason why I can think he got it is because of the way that the Rams ran through the NFC last year.
yeah, man, I don't know, man. It just, the way they've laid an egg the last second half, the last two seasons, like blows my mind, man. Like you could tell Cliff is not the guy. He's not meant for this league, and there was a lot
Yeah,
of turmoil when he got hired to begin with, after Steve Wilkes was one and done.
yeah,
He's definitely not the guy. I think Keim is long overdue to be fired. The guy can't draft. He can trade. He can make some amazing trades. So the benefit of the doubt with this Robbie Anderson trade is probably Robbie's going to probably ball out for the Cardinals. Just what history has shown what Keim can do with these trades. But drafting, the guy is atrocious. You just can't
yeah.
do it. Isaiah Simmons hasn't really cut out for what he was drafted at. Zavine Collins hasn't really panned out for what he was drafted at. Granted, these guys are both young, but they just can't figure it out. They don't know how to use these guys. And I know we're getting off topic, but yeah, the Cardinals are a mess regardless. My opinion with Robbie Anderson, I think he balls out. I think he actually shines. You look at his previous stats. His first year in Carolina, he was amazing. And I think this year it's another product of Baker Mayfield and horrible play calling. Matt Rule was terrible, as a coach. But I mean, there was a joke going around that Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore's dads were hooking up with OBJ's dad, trying to put a highlight reel together of how Baker's not throwing him the ball. So it's, I think it's huge. I think it's good for Robbie Anderson to get out of Carolina and into a pass happy scheme like the Cardinals with the air raid system. But
Right.
we'll see. Like we said, I mean, it's a low risk. They gave up a 6th and 7th round pick for next year. They can cut
Right.
ties if it doesn't work and save that cap space. So
Right.
it's a good gamble. I guess we'll see what
He
happens.
was good in New York. That's how he ended up in Carolina to begin with, and I
Yep.
get that. His first year in Carolina obviously was solid, right? It wasn't anything that was stellar. Um, we'll see, man. I don't, Call of Duty about to drop, so Kyler Murray about to be in trouble.
He went there. I knew it. It was just a matter of time.
Oh man, hey, somebody had to take the jab, right? Like it had to happen. We'll
That's
see,
going to be
though.
under
I
a
mean, I would love
microscope.
nothing more. I would love nothing more. I always love the story of somebody gets moved out of a situation that they don't like, and obviously the one that comes to mind right now is OBJ, right? Like we saw what the second half of the year was for OBJ last
Yep.
year. I mean, he was going on to be Super Bowl MVP, all of that, right?
Yeah.
So, I hope nothing more for Robbie Anderson. I also hope the Bears spend some money, and if he does ball out, bring his ass to Chicago. Okay.
You just want everybody in Chicago, dude. You guys need it.
No,
You guys
just
need a
some
quarterback
wide
to throw,
receiver. I
though.
just want some weapons for Justin Fields to throw the ball to that actually can catch the ball. But that's neither here nor there. It's okay. We're not talking
I
about
mean,
that.
can Fields get them the ball? I mean, let's be honest.
Are you? I
Yeah,
know
I
you
went
didn't
there.
just say that with Russell Wilson.
Oh, dude, don't even get me
that.
started on that, man. I know.
Okay, all
I
right.
know my demise.
So the best addition in the NFL this year has been.
We're moving on. Yeah, so we are on week 7. We now have a better picture of how things are working out. So Dev, I am curious who so far has been the best addition for a team this season. Could be free agent signing, drafting, rookie, or trade.
So you already know that if you remember our conversation that even struck this idea, you know who I'm going to say. It's James Bradberry of the Philadelphia Eagles. I almost wanted to just say, I mean, I could argue and say it's really just been James Bradberry and God, I don't remember his first name, but Gardner Johnson. They also went out and got him from the Saints.
Yep.
And the reason why I say that is because literally they were dead last in pass defense last year. They are point some odd percents away from being the best pass defense through 6 weeks this year. Last year, they allowed almost 70% of completions. This year, they're down to 56% of completions. So it's a massive difference. But I think James Bradberry was the spark of it all. Yes, they went out and got Gardner Johnson, within a couple weeks of the season or whatever. But that trade kind of happened because he ended up upset with the Saints, same way Robbie was upset with, whatever. But James Bradberry already been balling out. He's, right, tied Humphrey for not letting up a touchdown in the NFL. Exactly. Like Bradberry has been balling out. You got him next to Big Play Slay. We saw what they can do to these quarterbacks out there that are pass happy, and they ball hawk, they make tackles, they're all over the field, they're nasty. So like that's who it is for me. That was easy.
No, I mean that's good. You can't deny that with Slay, Bradbury, and Gardner. They have a solid secondary. And that's been huge for them this year. Just watching them, ball hawk Cooper Rush the other night. Getting 3 picks out of him. Yeah, I can agree with that. But I'm gonna go a different route, just because I knew that was gonna be your pick. I'm gonna say rookie running back for the Jets, Breece Hall.
Ooh,
that dude has been balling out, man. I was kind of skeptical. Him going to the Jets, even in my dynasty league that I am for fantasy football, I kind of stayed away from him. He wasn't gonna make it to me anyways, but I wasn't really too sold on him. But he's proven me wrong. Him and Michael Carter have been a phenomenal 1-2 punch. Carter's on his second year. He was drafted last year. He was teammates with Javonte Williams in North Carolina. The Jets have a solid 1-2 punch moving forward for the next few years, and that's something that can help out Zach Wilson as he kind of expands and whatnot, but I'm still not sold on him. He hasn't played very well since coming back from injury. But you can rely on that run game,
right.
It's huge for them.
He didn't come back from injury. He came back from MILF hunting.
MILF hunting. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Zach Milson. But yeah, I mean, an honorable mention too. There was a few that I really wanted to touch base on. Von Miller is another one, being the signing for the Bills.
He was my very close second. Von Miller. And I love the way that they're using him in Buffalo. Like, let's really understand that, like, he's got the nickname the closer because 80% of his snaps are played in the third and fourth quarter.
Yep. And
he's been closing out games for them because of that. And they're going to keep him healthy and fresh. And Yeah, I mean Von Miller's he's
I
crazy.
miss him, dude.
He's crazy
I
good
miss
right
him.
now. Yeah, yeah, Von Miller's crazy good right now.
He's crazy good, and I mean, it makes me happy, that he's on a team like the Bills that is going to rival the Chiefs, for making it to the Super Bowl in the AFC. I love to see it. Von's a good guy. He streams on Twitch and whatnot. I know Kay's been trying really hard to try and get some one-on-one time with him or get him on a podcast, and that'd be awesome. Getting Von Miller on
Yeah,
here.
would. Yeah.
So chat, let me extend this question to you. What do you think is the best addition so far for this season? We had Big Can say Cooper Rush. I don't know if he's being facetious or not, but
Yeah, no, Cooper's been on that team for a while.
well, yeah, he was there. Yeah, he was there last year, right?
Yeah, Cooper Rush has been there for a couple years.
Zombie Biter touching base on field saying LOL 55% completion percentage in the league.
I saw the comment. Yeah, I saw the comment.
Yeah,
I saw the comment. It's okay. I think these Eagles are doing a good job. I would honestly say another honorable mention comes from the Eagles, except on the offensive side, and you got to say AJ Brown, right? Like, look at what
absolutely.
AJ Brown has done for them as well.
He was my original. When I was typing out my notes, he was my original pick.
Yeah,
because he's been huge for that offense. It opens up Devonta Smith, and look at what it's done for the Titans offense. Just looking at that big minus, and trying to replace him with Trayvon Burks or Rod Woods. It's left a huge gap in that offense, and it's definitely shown. Yeah, so huge.
Yeah, they're struggling big time over there in Tennessee offensively, and they're thriving offensively in Philly. So yeah, if there was any doubt, if there was any doubt if it was Tannehill, I think that answer has been very much so answered. So
off topic, I know it's not on the topic list, but like, who is your rookie of the year pick so far?
Oh, you said his name. If I'm being honest, my rookie of the year pick right now is probably Breece Hall. I think he's made the most impact for a franchise. I mean, what are they, 4-2 or something like that? And I can't think of any other rookie that's doing anything like that right now. Like, he's just doing a really good job. You could make the argument that his teammate Sauce Gardner's up there as well. But they like to they give it to a rookie, offense and defense. But I like Breece. I think he's very humble. He's very down to earth, right? And he just plays good football, right? Like, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. You don't see him do a lot of the same mistakes twice. If he misses an assignment, they may call that play later in the game, and you best believe he hits that assignment and hits it hard, right? I like the way he's playing ball right now. So
I was curious. I'm wondering. I just looked it up. I was curious if a team had ever had the offensive and the defensive rookie of the year. And there's a very real possibility that the Jets could end up with Hall and Gardner being rookie of the years for both sides of the ball. So looks like yes twice. The Detroit Lions managed it in 1967, the very first year both categories were awarded. Lem Barney, cornerback, and then Mel Farr, running back, winning the respective awards. Okay. And there was another 51 years before it was replicated by the Saints when Marshawn Lattimore and Alvin Kamara won it.
Nice.
So it's been fairly recent. Okay, I didn't know that, but neat. That's something cool. The Jets have a bright future. I know Raw Dog is super stoked. He's all Jets, Jets. And all power to him. They look good. I just hope that like Zach Wilson's not going to be the one that holds him back, because they actually looked fairly good with Flacco out there. But I commend them for.
I didn't realize the Jets had so many rookies.
Yeah. Who else are you thinking about?
I didn't realize Garrett Wilson was also a rookie. Yeah. So they literally could have 3 rookies in the race. Like, that's crazy. Yeah.
Garrett Wilson hasn't done too much though. I mean, I don't think he's been in the race, but yeah. Regardless, I mean, that team looks good. Robert Saleh's got him humming. 4-2 is nothing to thumb your nose at. They've played some good teams. And now my Broncos get them next, I don't think the Broncos are going to win that game. They could very well go to 5-2. It's crazy.
You're not going to like the last segment of the show. I'll tell you that.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
All right.
It's okay.
We're moving along. All right. So yesterday, you texted me.
Yeah.
Black Friday games, and I had no idea what the hell you were talking about.
He
I was
sure
like,
did
okay,
text
that's
just
cool.
that
Yeah, like
too.
I thought there was
texted
some game
just that with
sales.
no
I was like, all
context.
right. But Tuesday, the NFL announced an additional game to the schedule starting next season. Amazon will be gifting us the first ever Black Friday game. Dev, how excited are you to get an additional game of the week to watch some football?
I think it's cool. I do think it's cool. Let's just understand what this is really about, right? Like this is a publicity stunt to further push TV buying over that weekend, right? Like this is a further push to move units off of Amazon, right? Like
Okay.
there's going to be um and they say it, right? Because this is exactly how the NFL says it in their thing. Amazon is uniquely positioned to partner with us for this game as Black Friday is one of the most important days of the year for their business.
Yeah.
That's literally verbatim what they say.
I
So like
just,
it's all about the sales, right? And
yep.
so the more that they can get their name out there, because I bet the game ain't gonna be. It's on Amazon Prime, right? So you know that it's not sponsored by anybody else. You ain't gonna hear no. They're gonna be flushing all kinds of Amazon holiday,
Ads.
ads, and I'd be surprised if anybody else sees another. I mean, the ad revenue gonna be crazy. Amazon gonna be charging the asinine
Oh,
amount of
dude.
money to get another picture ad on there that day. You know what I mean? So, right. And then it's followed up with Cyber Monday. Exactly. So, like, they've got a Black Friday game, and then obviously it's followed up with Cyber Monday, which is right around their most important time of the year. Um, it's cool. I mean, it's a gimmick. We'll see how long sticks. We'll see if it does numbers. I would assume they're talking about doing it at a 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Yep, that's
I
exactly where they're
mean,
doing it.
I don't know how crazy Black Friday will be this year because this will be the first year post COVID, really allowing people to kind of be out and about and stuff like that again. I don't know, right? Like, so this will be the first year. Next year will be the second year. So, I mean, it's better that they do it next year than this year. So, that was smart. Um, it'll be hard to say, right? Like, it'll be hard to say. So,
I mean, I'm excited. Like I
yeah,
said, it's an additional day of the week that we get some NFL football. And the fact that we get 3 games already on Thanksgiving, we can wake up Friday, do some shopping if you want to leave the house, go deal with the craziness. I usually wake up Friday, eat a little breakfast. I get out the house, or not the Halloween, the Christmas decorations. We get everything put up, and then we just kind of chill. And when I'm done, there's going to be a football game on. That's great.
yeah,
The
yeah,
way I look at
facts.
it now is that week's going to be great because the way I do my week for football season is we got Monday morning, we got Monday night game at night. Tuesday, I'm checking out my fantasy teams, looking to see what I need to do to plan ahead, planning waiver wires. Wednesday, you got the waiver wire pickups. So it's another day of me tinkering, looking at who I want to pick up. Thursday, we got the Thursday night football game. That Friday, we'll have a game. Saturday is the only other day now that is kind of like, I know there's college football, but I'm not a big college football guy. I don't tend to watch it. Being in Arizona, ASU is a shit show, so I don't bother with it. But and then Sunday we got football again. So there was always like kind of during the week, you have Friday and Saturday is kind of like a lull. It's like, all right,
Right.
well, now that week is something. It's a holiday season. It kicks off everything. You had Thanksgiving. Families in town. It's a good time. So
I love it. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm all for it. I mean, the more NFL games there are for me, like I'm right there with you, right? Like the better. So, and the more that I can sit down and drink eggnog with the
Oh,
NFL,
dude, yes,
sign me
eggnog.
up.
Let's go.
Yes. I love eggnog. I've been looking every time I go to the
You guys
grocery
don't have
store
it there
by
yet?
the missus. Nah, I mean, we do. We had a bullshit eggnog. I only drink a
Oh,
specific time out here.
gotcha.
Yeah.
It's all over the place
So,
here already, dude. I was all excited.
oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. But y'all don't have the eggnog that we have. I'm telling you, when I get you out to Chicago during the holiday season, I'm gonna get you some
I bet.
Oberweis eggnog. It's gonna change your life. You'll never be able to drink another eggnog. You'll hate me for it.
Oh,
Because
great.
you'll go home and you'll be like, this shit is trash.
uh, Zombie
I think
Biters
it's
say
great
there's
though.
Saturday games that week.
I think the more the NFL expands to more days and um I mean, obviously, we don't need a game every day of the week, right?
No.
But I think Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday. I think that's great. I think it's great. All these analytics say that it's going to be great. I'm surprised actually because through the first 5 games of the inaugural season of Prime Video, they're actually averaging 11 million viewers, which
Hmm,
is up 48% from last year, which is actually crazy.
that is crazy.
I'm
That's
sure
a
a lot of
huge
that has
jump.
to do with Twitch.
Yeah.
Sure, a lot of that has to do with Twitch. But what's even more, I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that that tells you there are more people with Amazon Prime than there are people with NFL Network. And I think that's what it really showcases is that there are more people with Amazon Prime than there are NFL Network, which a lot of these companies are NFL Networks an add on. So that makes sense. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
everybody loves 2 day shipping.
Oh, everybody.
Yeah.
I think the biggest con that I can think of the Black Friday game is that with it being the Thanksgiving week, we have 3 games on that Thursday, now an additional game on Friday. That's 4 games off the slate for or Sunday.
I would assume that they probably will I would guess that we'll get 2 games on Thanksgiving and a game on Friday. I don't know that they would take 4 games off of Sunday.
I don't know. I didn't see anything about that. The last thing I
Yeah,
saw,
they haven't really talked about the scheduling about it, but I would guess that they'll probably downsize and do an afternoon game and an evening game on Thursday, and then we'll get that game on Friday, is
I
what I
would
would assume.
I would assume at the same time is that would piss off one of the major networks because on Thursday each network has a game. You got one on CBS, you got one on Fox, you got one on NBC. So if that was the case, one of them would get screwed. And I wonder, I bet there's got to be a contract. So I think we will still get 3 games.
Interesting.
So
I didn't think about that. You're right. I didn't even think about the fact that each network gets a game on Thursday now. Yeah, I mean, whatever. It is what it is. You know what though? There's so many games on Sundays, like at the 12 o'clock hour or whatever. They're not gonna take like the Sunday night game. So like,
no,
who does it really hurt? It'll be whoever owns the Sunday ticket next year, which will probably be Apple, which is why Amazon is probably trying to stick it to them early.
yep. I wouldn't be surprised, yeah, if Sunday Ticket goes for sale and I think it's going to come down to Amazon and
It's
Apple.
up. I mean, it's up for sale. They already said
Oh,
that.
it's already
DirecTV
up for
already
sale.
said they're out. Oh yeah, it's out. They were supposed to have given us who the next Sunday ticket provider was going to be. Roger Goodell said he was going to announce it this fall. Well, I
Oh,
don't know about y'all, but fall end here in about a week or two. So
interesting. I did not know that.
yeah,
What is
yeah.
it? Some
But I
crazy
also
amount
heard they
too?
want like $300 million
Yeah.
for it. So there's only a couple people that are in position. The last I read, it was a race between Amazon and Apple. Amazon got Thursday night and decided that they were going to just be cool with that. And
Hmm.
so I heard that it was just down to Apple. That was the last I heard because everybody else, like Comcast and like some of these other companies, had already said no, right? And DirecTV is owned by AT&T, so that would be AT&T was out from the get go. So winter doesn't start until 12/21.
It's
God
just,
damn, fall lasts a long
yeah,
time.
it's
I don't know
just.
how that works. And as soon as I see snow, it's winter, damn it.
Well, winter
I
signifies
don't care
it's,
what the solstice
yeah, I
says,
was just going to
whatever
say
the
it's
sun may say, but when it's snow
the
on the ground,
longest
it's
night.
winter. Yeah, so last I heard there was only like it was only between Amazon and Apple, last I
Okay.
had heard. And then Amazon got the Thursday or whatever. So I don't know that I don't think that they would let Amazon have the monopoly like that.
All right. Moving on. We got our fantasy talk. So this segment is pretty much called Bench Cut Start.
I love it.
Um, it'll be the last segment of the show each week. Dev and I will give our opinions on this week's games and who should be benched, who should be cut, and who is a must start. So, Dev, why don't you kick us off? Who do you got?
So we're gonna go in order. The bench this week, Jacoby Myers.
Really?
I know that they are playing the Bears. However, the only bright spot about the Chicago Bears has been their pass defense. They're not, crazy good, but as far as fantasy is concerned, they're actually a top 5 defense. So any wide receiver that you're looking to start against the Bears, if they're not a bona fide stud, I wouldn't do it. I would look for another game. So I would tell you bench Jacoby Myers.
Okay. Do you want to just blow through, or do you want to go back and forth? I'll do my bench at the same time, or
Yeah, go ahead. Do your bench. Yeah, we'll do each. Yeah, we'll go back and forth.
my bench is going to be Antonio Gibson. So
Ooh, okay.
I don't understand what Ron Rivera is doing. I don't understand why they went out and drafted Brian Robinson. Gibson was great last year. He's been a solid running back. He can pass catch. He can do everything you ask of him. And for some reason, Ron Rivera hates him. Doesn't want to use him. This season, when he was pretty much the starter, while Brian Robinson was, recovering from his unfortunate accident, being shot, Gibson was great. He was serviceable. But now that Brian Robinson's back, Gibson's starting to fall out of the starter category. He's just not being utilized, and I don't get it. He's a good running back. I don't understand it. So something to continue to watch. I would, if you have him and you've been kind of starting him, don't keep him on your bench. And he's actually a candidate. If he doesn't do anything this week, he's probably going to be my candidate for cut next week. There's no point in holding on to him because you got JD McKissick there, who's really the pass option back there. And then Brian Robinson's continued to, kind of play well. So
yeah,
very interesting. I don't get it. I don't understand why they're doing that. If it was the Broncos, I would take Antonio Gibson in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Antonio Gibson is solid.
Blows my mind.
Yeah, I think Antonio Gibson's a solid back, but I mean, it's hard, right? Like he's, have you ever heard the phrase that like if you can be good at everything, but you're not great at anything?
Yeah,
I feel like that's Antonio Gibson.
Yeah.
Like he is good at everything, but if they've got Brian Robinson, who is great at running, and then they've got McKissick, who is great in the past, well, you unfortunately kind of just fall in that nowhere land. And I think that might be kind of what's happening right now.
Okay.
But don't be surprised if he ends up in Carolina next year. Anyways. So my candidate for cut, easiest cut of my life right now, Matt Stafford. Get that man out of your team. Cut him. Drop him. Leave him on the waiver wire, man. I don't think he's coming back. I think it's over. We saw what we saw last year was magical. It was great. That is gone. Okay. Let me tell you why. Real quick, I'm gonna hit you with a couple stats so y'all don't think I'm talking too crazy. Here we go. 2 games already this year with less than 10 points. We've only played 6. 4 games already with multiple turnovers. We've only played 6. Okay. He's got only 1 game with more than 12 points, and only that same game is the only game he has with double-digit touchdowns thrown on the season. It's over. It is what it is. Cooper Kupp ain't the same. His number 2 wide receiver is Tyler Higbee right now. It is what it is. I'm sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Stop wasting a roster spot on Matt Stafford. It ain't happening. There's no bounce back. That elbow injury was real.
Yep.
And it's over.
That's what I was going to say. I was waiting for you to touch base because if you weren't, I was going to jump on it. And this is all we saw in this offseason was the issues with his elbow. And they came out assuring everything was fine. Matt Stafford's good to go. But you can clearly see, just reading off the stats and whatnot, he's not good to go. Something's definitely wrong. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something he can recover from, but I agree. Get rid of him. He's not worth a roster spot right now, unless it's a deep league and you don't have any other option. It's a bye week, kind of fill in. But even then, there's still better options out there. Heineke,
Trevor
who's
Lawrence
getting a start this week. Trevor Lawrence,
Yes.
Heineke is I think he's projected to get more points than Stafford right now. So it's crazy.
Heineke is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a damn shame. Heineke ain't played a game all year.
Yeah, but he did good. He was a solid fantasy option last year. I utilized him quite a bit last season.
Yeah.
But
he beat the Bears last year, so I ain't got nothing to say.
Yeah. Lawrence is greater than Stafford, Kyle says. And right now, yeah. I think Lawrence still has a lot of growing pains he's working through because he's had some doozy of some games. But I'm running him in my dynasty league. I have Russell Wilson. Wilson's benched until further notice. Until he can show me something, I'm going to roll with Lawrence. But my cut is going to be Chase Edmonds. He was a huge signing for the Dolphins, and Mostert has just ripped away that starting gig from him. The last 2 weeks, I think last week, Chase Edmonds only had 4 touches. He is definitely not the guy. Mostert has been running wild in that offense, and it's great. I'm happy to see him healthy. Chase Edmonds is my guy. I used to play Call of Duty with him. He's a good dude. But for whatever reason, Mike McDaniel is falling out of love with him. I don't know what's going on. But Chase Edmonds is not the guy. You know, you can stash him if you want and just kind of, you know, Mostert is injury prone. Maybe Edmonds takes over again in the future if Mostert happens to go down. Fingers crossed he doesn't, because I have him in a couple fantasy leagues. But yeah, I think Edmonds is definitely a cut option. He's just not getting the touches in the game. They have been running fully with Mostert.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like that cut actually. I like that cut a lot. You're right. I mean, Mostert, it's hard. That's that thing, right? When you get two, because Edmonds was a starter in Arizona, right? So
Yep.
like, and then you obviously had a starter in Mostert in San Francisco. So you know, you knew it was going to be a fight from the get go. And Mostert just is. I think Mostert's always been a little bit better of a back than people realize.
Yeah.
He kind of got the Tony Pollard treatment.
Yeah.
And I think Tony Pollard one day, you know, might get that starting job that he deserves as well. But
Well, I think
no, I
last
like
year
that.
Mostert only got, I think he was in for like 4 snaps and then he went down with a
Yeah.
knee injury.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for Mostert. I really am. The guy's been balling out
Yep.
this year. He's healthy. Knock on wood. He stays healthy.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right, who's your start?
All right, here's the start. And again, you touched it, right? You are a proud Denver Broncos fan, and you are starting Trevor Lawrence. That is all the statement and signage that I need to say what I'm about to say. Start the Jets defense.
Wow.
We already talked about how crazy that secondary has been this year. We already talked about how good that front seven is this year. I mean, they got Quentin Williams just absolutely eating. They got all kinds of stuff working. I think CJ Mosley is over there still getting the bag on people. Like, the Jets defense is where you want to be. The Denver Broncos offense and Nathaniel Hackett clearly have some problems. Clearly have some problems. And so they only have a couple touchdowns on the year, ladies and gentlemen, and the Jets have only allowed 7 touchdowns through 6 weeks or something like that. So just understand that you know, the Jets defense is probably very solid start this week.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I have a feeling that game is going to be another low scoring affair. It's going to be like a 13-10 game. Jets are probably going to win just because. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on with that offense.
That's if Russ don't throw a bunch of interceptions. I mean, I think the Jets are primed to cause some turnovers and points.
That's the thing right now, though. I mean, I got to give credit to Wilson is that he's not turning the ball over. You know, he's
true.
He's holding on to the ball. He's not throwing interceptions. He's had some bad throws, so I'm kind of surprised. But for the most part, he's been hanging on to the ball, you know. But
yeah.
Hackett did come out today saying that he had a good long chat with Melvin Gordon, and he will be the starter this week. So if Mr. Fumble himself, you know, decides to put the ball on the ground, that could be huge for the Jets and their defense. So, I mean, I like that pick. That's a good one. Mine is only hinged on one thing. So, J.K. Dobbins did not practice again today. And it's kind of clearing the way for Kenyon Drake to have sole possession of that running back position this week. So he balled out last week. He had a 30-yard touchdown run. He played really well, filling in. He split time with Dobbins, and then when Dobbins went out with a knee injury, Drake took over, and he's been playing great. He looked really good. So keep an eye on it. He's still available in a lot of formats. I picked him up just in case, but he is available in a lot of formats, so I would take a look. Just kind of keep an eye on what's going on with J.K. Dobbins. And if Dobbins is out, Drake's a start. Granted, if you have guys like Saquon and, you know, and Kamara and Eckler and whatnot, you're not going to start him over those guys. But if you're, you know, bye weeks, there's some heavy bye weeks this week. You got the Vikings out, the Rams are out. Who else? There's some pretty. This is a pretty heavy bye week, and I can't remember them all.
The Bills are out, I think, too.
The Bills are out too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
A lot of missing options. So if you're looking for a bye week running back, Drake is a must start if he's the guy this week. So, yeah. Shout out to Yaman for gifting 2 subs. Appreciate you, buddy.
Fact. I know we did bench cut start, but I'm gonna throw a curveball at you. Do you potentially have a sleeper?
A sleeper. Sleeper. I'm still kind of like, there's a couple guys that I've been kind of sitting on all year waiting for them to kind of break out. Nico Collins is one for the Texans. They're coming off a bye. That team desperately needs somebody to step up and be the number 2. You know, it's still Brandon Cooks on that offense. And for whatever reason, I don't know what's going on, but I'm still super high on Nico Collins, someone to keep an eye on. If you're looking for a tight end, like a good streaming tight end, Bellinger for the Giants has been really good the last couple weeks. Daniel Jones is starting to kind of keep an eye on him. So something to look into. I think he's still available in a lot of leagues. And these are really the only two. Zay Jones is still available in a lot of leagues too.
Yeah.
So I think you picked him up in our league.
Sleeper, but I'm gonna tell y'all someone that is a sleeper. He got his first touchdown last week. Hammered Kyle Pitts again this week. He's playing a very favorable fantasy matchup.
Is he available though? Have people been dropping him, giving up on him?
Some people have been dropping him. I know he started to drop off. He was actually in the top 5 dropped players last week, and then obviously he scored that touchdown, which was crazy. Or people might have swapped him out, like myself in one of my leagues. He sat on my bench last week because I was like, this man ain't done nothing all week, right? Or all year, not just all week. He ain't done nothing all year, and then goes out and scores a touchdown. Now, I didn't feel too bad. He only outscored who I started by like less than a point, right? Like it was just a couple, tenth of a point or whatever. But he's playing the worst tight end defense in the league right now. So
this week,
I would say give him a start. I forgot. Hold on, I had it and then I
Lauren,
forgot.
thanks for the raid. Appreciate you.
The Falcons play the Bengals.
The Bengals, really? They have the worst tight end defense?
Yeah, they have the worst tight end defense in fantasy right now. So they're giving up double-digit points to every tight end they've played so far this year.
Now, I've been hanging on to Mooney in a couple leagues as a Bears fan. Should I hang on to him? Should I drop him?
Darnell?
Yeah.
I would say it just depends. I mean, that's tough, right? Like, it just depends on what the options are. If you could trade him for somebody solid, because, if you're talking like a dynasty league or whatever, I would say trade more than just a drop.
Is there anybody out there?
I don't know that I could warrant
a
drop yet, because there's still the days that he's going to get, I know it doesn't seem like it, but there are going to be games where he's going to, break that 100 yards and get a touchdown, right? Like he almost did it on Thursday, right? Like if he's able to hang on to that pass, he's over 100 yards and has 2 touchdowns. So, no, it's hard for me to say to drop Mooney because he is still easily our number 1 option. Talk to me in 2 weeks. Let's see what N'Keal Harry looks like on Sunday, right? Like he's going to suit up. He's going to suit up for his first game. Him and Justin worked a lot together in the offseason, just like him and Mooney did.
Okay.
So let's see. I'm excited to see N'Keal suit up. So I know nobody else can say that, but I'm excited to see.
He's an ASU product, man. I was shocked that the Patriots took him at the end of the first round. Yeah, he was really good. He just did not pan out for the Patriots, man. Just didn't
pan out for the Patriots because he doesn't play football the Patriots way.
Yep.
Let's not forget who the Patriots have been a run heavy offense, basically for the and that's kind of what even drove Tom to leave, was because they didn't want Tom throwing the ball all that much.
Yep.
He clearly still wants to sling the ball 40 times a game, as you can see down in Tampa Bay. So, among a few other things like money, but a lot of it had to do with the offense. So, I think N'Keal Harry will be okay. I think he's going to be this year's OBJ, and I'm expecting him to break out and be who he was in college again. So help me God. Otherwise, I might have a heart attack. So.
2 running backs I wanted to touch base on. One is Benjamin for the Cardinals. James Conner didn't practice again today, and so with them playing tomorrow night, might be the guy. So he's an option if you guys are looking for a last-minute ad. Big Can just dropped him in our league. I was really shocked by that. But and then Kyron Williams.
He found a home.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Yeah, Kyron Williams for the Rams is supposedly taking over Akers' spot, with Akers not gonna be playing with the team any longer. likely to be traded. So Kyron Williams is going to step up. He's a rookie out of Notre Dame. I think he's a 3rd round pick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kyron's good.
He's
He's
been on
got
the
good
IR all
vision, good
season.
feet. Yeah, he's got good vision, good feet. Yeah, he unfortunately came out of college with an injury, if I'm not mistaken, right? I
Some
think that's
ankle
what happened.
injury, I think, or something like that. I
Yeah, he
remember.
had to have surgery or something like that. Um, it's funny you say that. Cam Akers almost took my cut spot, but because of the fact that they
He's
wanted
going to
to
trade.
trade him, I didn't want to say cut him yet because obviously, depending on where he ends up, might be good for him.
So
Um,
apparently, the odds favorite is the Denver Broncos.
I mean, that's not bad, right? Like you guys lost old boy or whatever,
Yeah.
and there is no real love in Melvin Gordon. I think everybody within that organization knows that.
Yeah, I
So
mean, as a fan of the Broncos, Melvin Gordon pisses me off with his
right,
fumble issues. But as like a human being, seeing him the night that he fumbled twice or whatever, and he had to be on that podium, the dude was the loneliest man in the world at that point. You can
yeah,
just tell, man, that was eating him alive, and I felt for him. I felt so bad for him.
right,
I know he wants nothing more than to help this team win and succeed. And I know he's putting in the effort. He put in a lot of reps on working on ball security. I hope we see it. You know, we saw it with guys like uh, Barber, right? He was one that like
yeah,
used to fumble a lot, and his first 4 years in the league had like 40 something fumbles or some crazy
yeah.
thing.
Tiki Barber was
And
crazy.
then
Yeah,
he kind of figured it out the last couple of years that he
yeah,
was a running back. He didn't put the ball on the ground that often. It was very rare that he did. So there's still hope. I'm hoping Gordon kind of figures it out. I do like him as a running back. He's our best option right now. So the fact that
right.
Hackett didn't even have a conversation with him last week just pisses me off. You know, just Gordon had no idea what was happening. But
Right.
we'll see what happens because he said he's going
Um,
to be the starter this week.
it's up to you. We could talk trades real quick if you want, or we could say that for next week. But obviously, the trade deadline is what, week 8, right?
Yeah, I think we should save it for next week.
Okay. Yeah, because
That'd be a good topic.
there are some interesting names out there that I am curious to see what happens. So for
Yeah.
sure.
There should be some. I mean, I know the trade deadline's not nearly as exciting as it is for basketball or the MLB, but um,
I think this year it could be though, because there are some interesting names that I've heard teams announce they're taking calls on. So I think we could see an interesting trade deadline in the NFL this year, but who knows? Who knows?
all right,
Yeah, it ain't nothing like NBA. NBA trade deadline go crazy.
yeah,
I watched that last year for the first time, like actually paid attention to it. I was like, oh my God.
yeah. So, all
So
right, I think that
cool,
wraps up our
man.
first show. We did it.
Hey, yeah. Did it
First
well
episode of the belt.
too. We didn't just do it, we did it well.
I think we nailed it, man. So,
Yeah.
chat, we're gonna throw this up on YouTube as well. Just want to shout out to Lauren for showing the love on the raid, and then Yaman gifting a couple subs. You guys are great.
But
Appreciate you. Everybody else that was tuned in today, greatly appreciated. We'll be doing this every Wednesday, same time, same place.
yep.
Very much looking forward to this venture with Dev. I think we have good rapport, good communication skills, and whatnot. So
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll bring my Stephen A. Smith when the time is right. There was
yeah,
no need for it today.
like you
But
did on Monday.
yeah. Oh, Monday it was
Dying
necessary.
on the
It was
Texans Hill.
necessary. Yeah. Oh, and they're gonna watch. Oh, I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait.
uh,
I got a quick plug. I will be on the Twitch Sports channel on Saturday, starting
Ooh.
at what time does it start? 1 Eastern or 2 Eastern? I don't know. They're doing this show called I have to be there at 12 noon, which
Okay.
is 1 Eastern. So that's an hour before. So 2 Eastern. 2 Eastern, I will be on the Twitch Sports channel doing this show called the Superfan Face Off. They're doing Jackson State University. If you don't know who JSU is right now, you might be living under a rock, but that's the team that's coached by Deion Sanders. Um, so we'll be doing that on Saturday. So please come out, hang out, all that good jazz. They will also be co-streaming it on my channel. But the chat that I'll be able to physically see will be the main chat from the Twitch Sports channel. So
That's awesome.
shout
man.
out to Twitch Sports for reaching out to me and getting me linked up for that opportunity. Appreciate them for that.
Oh yeah. Lots of good stuff coming down with the Nexus Interactive crew. I'm excited, man. We got a lot of good things cooking. We got Buffalo K's show, the overtime show on Monday nights. You have Shop and Lauren's All In. I know that's kind of like I don't know exactly when they do it. I want to say it's Tuesday or Wednesday. I know I asked them earlier, but they weren't kind of sure. So I know they're working that out. We have our show on Wednesday. Thursday, you have Shop's fantasy show on Thursday night, and then you have
$50. You have a chance to win $50. All you need to do is have a microphone and a camera. Y'all need to stop playing around. Y'all better go win that money. I won mine.
I won mine too. Hell yeah! You said he's gonna bring back the victors on a future show, so maybe it'll be you and I going head to head.
Oh man, that's where it's at. Yeah, you don't want none of this smoke. It's okay.
Buffalo K starting a new show tomorrow night called Buff Bets. I'm not sure. He explained it to us the other night, but I know it's something to do with like the Price is Right rules. You're trying to like pick like how many rushing yards a running back will have, and you got to try and get as close as possible without going over or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
That's interesting. I know. I believe he said there was a cash prize. And then
he said it's kind of like whoever wins, he will make a bet, and then you win if like you win, right? Like I think he said that he was gonna make a bet for them.
Interesting.
Right? Isn't that what he said? Like you could like choose a parlay or something like that.
Okay.
And then if you win the parlay, he would then turn around and give you the money or something like that.
Okay, so it's all like you got to put everything on the line.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. There's all it's crazy. Yeah, he's real. He went real deep with that one. I was like, okay,
he put a lot of thought into that.
Yeah. Hey, it's yours. You got it. That's great. I love it. I'm there for it.
And then Friday, I'll be starting another podcast called Crossing Streams. If you guys are OG members of the channel, you might remember Buffalo K and I doing Crossing Streams videos, which was me and him kind of going back and forth on different topics about streaming in general. Just there's so much to talk about streaming wise. We have a lot of passion for it. You guys know everybody in the Nexus Interactive crew has a lot of passion for streaming, a lot of knowledge. And so we're going to kind of bring that in from a YouTube tutorial aspect to more of a roundtable discussion, and it will be more expansive with different streamers, not just the ones that we know from the Madden community and whatnot. So people from all corners of Twitch. I'm looking forward to it. Super excited. Something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, just finally making it come to fruition. So we'll be having that on Monday or Fridays as well. So, and then Dev's got his thing on Saturday. I'm super excited about.
Yep. Yeah, I'm geeked about it. We have a Shop and Wave have an NBA show too. Oh God, what's it called? I never remember. I feel so bad. I don't never remember people's shows. And One. That's what it's called.
And One. Yeah, there it is.
And
there it
One.
Yeah.
Yes.
I remember them talking about it. Okay, when is that?
Yeah. So Shop and Wave, both of them again, part Mondays, of Nexus Interactive. They also have a show called And One. I do believe currently it's on Monday.
Right after the overtime show.
Correct. That is correct. Yes.
I need to make a graphic because the Twitter post I couldn't fit everything in.
Yes, correct. Yes, that is correct. So that covers all the shows that we know of right now. All the shows that we know of right now. So if you're NBA fans, make sure you catch them on Mondays. Their show is at 8 Eastern. So I'm gonna try to get K to start rating over there. I tried to get him to do it, but I don't think he knew. I don't know that.
Oh, we ended up doing the sidecast of the Monday night game. That's why.
Oh, that's right. You did stay on for the Monday night game. That's right. Yeah. So if he does sidecast, that's one thing. If he doesn't do sidecast, we'll probably maybe start showing those guys some love too. So. And you'll find everybody sidecasting everywhere. That's the other thing. We all gonna be sidecasting because like you're sidecasting Thursday.
Yep.
I assume maybe you're not. Are you?
I think I need to talk to the wife about it, obviously. But
right.
As far as the sidecasting goes, I would like all of us to, we obviously sidecast on our own respective channels, but get us all into a Discord call and at least have the voice comms so we can have that
back
exactly.
And forth. I think that could be great. Exactly. So you'll see everybody sidecasting everywhere. Obviously, Buff with his Buff Bets. Thursday night fantasy. He's got a cool name for it too. Fantasy game show with Shop. And I also will be sidecasting tomorrow night with Wave because Wave is a big Cardinals fan. So I try to link up with people whenever I know they're fans to watch the games. And
Wave is a Cardinals fan?
Yeah, Wave's a big time Cardinals fan.
Really?
Yeah, so Yeah. So I
Interesting.
will. I like to watch people's demise live and in living color, and then when I can share it on stream, or I like to watch people cheer and root and whatever. So again, live and in color. So, uh, but yeah, so you'll find us everywhere, man. The Nexus Interactive, we're doing great things. Brown Red Dad, I saw you said, how do you join the crew? We're gonna have more information about how everybody can get into the Discord. Do you have the Discord? Do you have a link? A chat command?
Sure. Actually, I don't know if I do. Oh
Got
yeah, I
you.
do. I think I do. Hold on.
Do you? Okay.
Nope. Okay, I gotta figure that out.
He said nope.
I gotta add
All
it.
right, for
Thought I
sure.
did. But yeah, I think there is an application link on the Twitter around it. Brown Dead. So
Yeah, for sure. And I'm pretty sure we should probably see if we can like pin a tweet to join the Discord as well.
that was
So.
the pin tweet until I changed it for the shows.
Got it. Okay, bet.
So,
Yeah. I'll get you the information, Brown Red Dad. It's
yeah,
all.
we'll
Oh,
send
you're
you.
in the Discord already. Bet. Yeah. Then yeah, the application's on the Twitter.
But all right, we're gonna raid Buffalo K. He's doing some Madden. You know, the market guru. What is he doing? Buy, sell, exchange. So it looks like he's just working market stuff today. Appreciate y'all again for tuning in for the first episode. Dev, you got anything to say on our way out?
Same thing as always, chat. 200%. 100% passion, 100% positivity. And you'll always reap the benefits that you seek. Peace.
See you guys.